This is not a test. Don't expect to be impressed. Put on your life vest. Sit down your armrest. It's time to stray from the grind. Don't take my hand, 'cause you'll find no peace of mind. Side quest.
Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to Side Quest, the adventures between the adventures, where we kind of have, sometimes we play a game, sometimes we have a guest, sometimes we just bullshit around and see what happens. Well, today we have no guests. It is a game and we're bullshitting around. I'm MK Gibson. Who we have with me? Rick, introduce yourself.
I'm Rick.
Well said, sir. You're a man of many words. Just, you know what, Script, that's all you get. Misty, how are you doing?
That's a loaded question, but um, I've had 2 cups of coffee and it's Sunday, so I don't have shoes on. How's that? Will that do?
I'm still in my sweatpants and I'm a happy man. I feel you. Mr. Bevan, how are you, sir?
Speaking of loads, hello, friends. Jesus. My name is Robert Bevan. I play the role of Robert Bevan. Profound.
For those watching, for those in the podcast service, you just hearing our wonderful voices. For those watching on the video services like YouTube, you'll see that Rick and Bevan both, because of the same person, are using their Dicey Bastards characters, because we'll be playing.
I don't have to be
recording later today. What's that? It's fine.
I don't have to be doing that.
You don't have to be, but it's okay.
I'm not gonna touch any more buttons. So
don't touch any buttons.
Yeah, it's kind of chaotic here. You don't need to see the background.
Just learn what the function button was today. All right. So what game are we playing? Well, we knew that we want to do something fun, and lately we're having a lot more fun doing things that are like Dungeons and Dragons adjacent. But we've already talked about a bunch of D&D stories, a bunch of tropes, but we had fun arguing last time using the bracket system. So I said, what if we try classic 80s swords and sandals D&D adjacent movies? And I didn't get anybody. No one told me no, so I just rolled with it. So I created this bracket. We have 12 people on the bracket for you audio listeners. Again, you should really watch this thing too. Okay. In the number 1 seed, we have the movie Willow. Number 2, Krull. Number 3, Conan the Barbarian. Number 4, Red Sonja. Number 5, Clash of the Titans. Number 6, it's supposed to be Excalibur, but I misspelled it, so it's like Excalibur. But we know it's Excalibur. Number 7, Legend.
Do we?
We do know.
We do. Shut up.
Number 8, The Dark Crystal. Number 9, Dragon Slayer. Number 10, Conan the Destroyer. Yes, that is Conan 2, the shitty one. Number 11, Beastmaster. And number 12, Lady Hawk. So based on when I went to the one website and punched all these things in and spat out this formula, 1, 2, 3, and 4 all get a bye. So we are in the preliminary rounds, and we're going to start with Dragon Slayer versus The Dark Crystal. Does anybody have any fond memories of either of these movies?
Well, yeah, they're both.
Yeah.
I have fond memories of both movies. I mean, Dark Crystal is it's a Jim Henson classic, whereas Dragon Slayer was probably like one of the first movies out there that is about fucking dragons.
Right.
Not fucking dragons, but more
just hard dragon fucking.
Adjective, not verb.
Exactly. Dark Crystal is one of those seminal things. Like, I grew up watching over and over and over and over and over, and I loved it for all my life. Dragon Slayer, thank Peter McNichol, who later got Vigo is a Carpathian. But young Peter McNichol, and also I forget the actress's name who was in it with him, so I apologize. But I remember I think that movie came out like in 1983 or 4, and I saw boobies, and I was like 8 or 9, so I was a happy young kid. So. But yeah, I have a deep love for both of these flicks. Bob, you have any touchstones with either of these?
I saw The Dark Crystal once, like 40 years ago, and I've never seen Dragon Slayer, so I choose The Dark Crystal.
Why do we invite Bob to these movie things?
Well, I was hoping he'd have some. If anything, he'd be the tiebreaker. Misty, how about you?
Okay, so Caitlin Clark was the actor that you couldn't remember right now, really not surprising because I'm not sure how much else she's done. But Dragon Slayer, I love Dragon Slayer for all the reasons that y'all have said, although it is really weird to watch it now and see Peter McNichol because, again, from Ghostbusters and from all the wise older guy roles that he has played in the last decade or so.
Like how long was he on Ally McBeal for? Like forever. So yeah.
Yeah, and he was on the Numbers, that show about how math can solve all mysteries, but anyway. I'm not going to talk about math because math will get me going for days. But
Nerd.
so no, not that way. The other way.
Oh,
I have
fair
issues
enough.
with math. Math and I are not friends.
Flat Earth math. Keep going.
Because I'm a word girl. But
Same.
but I think of the two, Dark Crystal is far more it has far more of a grip on my soul. I saw it when it was new and absolutely loved it, and ended up my DM at the time let me develop and play a Gelfling character for years, and so I was like totally into it and love the Dark Crystal. And even if I watch it now, it still holds up without any of that little weird squiggly Peter McNichol vibes. So so I vote Dark Crystal.
Well, I'm going to lean that way also. I would just say, like, while I watched most of it, I couldn't get into the Netflix show. And I know that's sacrilege for some nerds out there, but Dark Crystal was one of those type of perfect vertical slices. I didn't need a prequel. I didn't need a sequel, because it alluded to a past that my imagination filled in more blanks than anything ever possibly could. Same thing with the thing. They gave you enough of a hints of the lore and enough of the hints of the things to come that your imagination, or to use a Bevan, your wonder filled in the rest. So I too would go probably Dark Crystal over Dragon Slayer. But Dragon Slayer, it like Rick said in the beginning, there wasn't anything like it until the time. There's a goddamn dragon on the screen, and it still looks cooler than the one with that shitty one that Dennis Quaid did with Sean Connery. So
Yeah, true.
Is that who that was? Dennis Quaid. I was trying to think. Oh,
yes.
wow. Oh, now my head hurts.
Dragonheart, yeah. David
There's
Thewlis.
no gap my wonder won't fill.
Rick, how
All
are
right,
you voting?
So I'm just gonna go which one I have enjoyed watching more over the years, and Dragon Slayer is an easy choice. I like the Dark Crystal. I recognize it as a classic. I like the Skeksis. I can't stand the Gelflings. Whoever the good guys are, whoever we're gonna do nothing and
Mystics.
just sit, and just be
No.
useless bags of shit mystics. Fuck those guys. But
Oh,
I know over the years, like teenage me, when I'm changing around, it's like, oh, Channel 9 Dragon Slayer's on. I've sat down and I've watched that multiple times.
yeah.
Okay.
So I know what, Bob, which one did you vote for?
The one I've seen, Dark
Which
Crystal.
was the Dark Crystal. All right, so the Dark Crystal wins. Suck it, Dragon Slayer.
Well, that's a ringing endorsement.
It's a win is a win. All right, moving on to the second part of the round. We have Clash of the Titans against Lady Hawk. So who wants to start this? Who wants to start the bidding?
I've seen Clash of the Titans. Winner.
All right.
I assume we're doing original Clash of Titans, not the crappy remake.
Yes, this is
Yeah.
we're talking
yes,
the Howard
right,
the stop motion animation again because it was the era movies. Harry Hamlin running around, great hair, Burgess Meredith, Zeus. Yeah.
So let me just I like Rutger Hauer. I think he's an underrated actor, and probably the one thing about Lady Hawk I actually like, but unfortunately, I don't like the rest of Lady Hawk.
Yeah,
So
Lady Hawk was one of those I wanted to get into it as a kid. Now, when I was little and I saw it, you just watched a movie and you watched a movie. When I got a little bit older and went back to my teenagers and rewatched it because I hadn't seen it in years, I didn't realize it had that much rock opera for the entire soundtrack. It's just heavy metal guitar riffs and it felt so anachronistic to like the setting. Maybe that's just me being I can't see the art or the vision. But and Matthew Broderick as the little thief guy was just kind of weird.
And the thing is, Clash of the Titans was one of those that was one of those fuck yeah movies that you went and saw in the 80s, knowing that there was just going to be all sorts of badass Ray Harryhausen stop motion monsters and shit going on, and it delivered.
Yeah,
Misty,
I
what do you
think
say?
I'm going to go with Rick on this one, even though I'm probably putting my my nerd woman card into serious risk, because a lot of my nerd girlfriends are going to go, "What the hell is wrong with you? Why don't you love Lady Hawk? It's romance and it's beautiful." And but I'm just not a fan of Michelle Pfeiffer. She did. She
Gasp.
did. I know, right? She's supposed. What is she like? That liquid gold. Is that what the song calls her? But I'm like, no, I'm not
Michelle
into
Pfeiffer.
her.
That
That
was
white gold, that white
that white
gold,
gold.
that
Yeah,
Michelle Pfeiffer, that white gold.
Pfeiffer, that white.
Yeah, whatever. So she's a white lady. Whoopee. But I just I have problems with fantasy animals anyway. I question them far too much, and so the idea of them turning into animals always left me a little cold as far as their behavior. And so I'm going to go with Clash of the Titans because it is, if nothing else, a fun adventure. And if the two of them were on back to back on TV on a Saturday afternoon and I had nothing to do, I would probably watch Clash of the Titans before Lady Hawk. So I'll go for Clash of the Titans.
Yeah, I agree with that because like a lot of nerds, like I think a lot of us when we got our touchstones into nerddom, Greek mythology was one of those initial because it's like that is like it pushes you into that general direction. Hey, these are superheroes going up against monsters using swords and running around and killing shit. You know, a lot of D&D is clearly based on a lot of like if you fight a Medusa, you fight a Kraken, you fight a whatever. Yeah, you grow up with this. You like the Clockwork Owl Bubo. I mean, there's so many things that are like, again, it's not just they're iconic. It had just a good linear story from beginning. What happened?
I forgot about the owl, and I was hit with a momentary flash of delight. So,
oh, okay. I didn't know Bubo was all of a sudden racist. Like, oh shit, are we not offending the Clockwork animal pink listeners out there? I apologize for all you animal automatons. What's up, my Bubos?
I love him. I love him. So
okay. But yeah, for me, Clash of the Titans would also go forward. That remake, that was a movie. It was a movie.
I think this one sweeps.
Yeah.
So while you're typing, I'll move us on to the next one because time's a little short today because we're recording right before a game. But we have Beastmaster versus Excalibur.
Why is Clash of the Titans cock?
Oh yeah, but it was supposed to be caught. You're right. Thank you. I don't know. I guess I was just thinking about cock.
All right, so Beastmaster versus Excalibur. Who wants to start us off with that?
I don't know if I've seen either of these.
All right. Well, fortunately, I have opinions. I mean, the truth of the matter is there's been a million King Arthur movies made, and I'm not really sure Excalibur it's never really stood out for me as as particularly one I cared about. Whereas Beastmaster, I mean, come on, what's not to like about shirtless, hairless Mark Singer running around in his little mankini. Oh wait, and commanding animals and fighting bad guys and and making out with Tanya Roberts too. Not to mention,
that is Bond girl Tanya Roberts to you, sir. Show some credit.
Yeah. and then John Amos is in it. I think this was
late John Amos.
Yeah, and he's always cool. It's just like there's a lot to like in that movie. It is
also Rip Torn chewing up scenery as Mayok.
Yes.
Now when you say
it's a low budget Conan the Barbarian, but it's it's probably the best low budget Conan the Barbarian.
It spawned several sequels and a television show. Now I'm going to take umbrage though. Excalibur is for me the King Arthur story that other people are you have got. That's the bar you've got to meet because 1980 created this amazing. I mean, this is one that got the bum 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 playing all the way through. It is a hauntingly beautiful movie that tells the story of a young King Arthur to young Arthur to the King Arthur to his fall with his son. You've got Liam Neeson, young Liam Neeson is in this flick, and you've also got what's her name? Helen Mirren, running around as Morgana in this thing. No, this movie is fucking baller. I own it. I watch it frequently. It is amazing. But like Rick said, Beastmaster is going to, because that is like the reverse sexism right there. Every time we talk about the chainmail bikini, you've got Mark Singer running around in that loincloth with nothing but abs, 19 abs right there on display. So
yeah, I loved Excalibur when it came out, although I will vote it down for the sake of one scene, the scene where fake Uther comes home and impregnates the mom, and they're having sex and he's in full damn armor. I'm sorry, ow. Just ow. So no.
Yeah, they got down back then, and it's kind of gross. So yeah.
Yeah, it just ow, that hurts. So that kind
clang,
of
clang. and then he collapses on top of her and it hurts. Yeah,
Oh, it hurt the whole time, I am sure. So, and also Beastmaster came out. When Beastmaster came out, I was in high school, and I remember I had just fallen in love with Mark Singer from seeing him on a video of his um the Taming of the Shrew, that he did with the American Conservatory Theater in the 70s, in the early
Mhm.
70s, and we had found a video of that in my school library, and a bunch of us watched it every day because it was so freaking funny, and we were madly in love with Mark Singer at that time, and so when Beastmaster came out, it was like, oh, it's Petruchio, yay!
And,
So
and
so
Mark
I'm
Singer
going
went on
Beastmaster.
to a long career in softcore porn.
Did he really?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure he teamed up with like Shannon Tweed and was like pretty much making like all those 90s like sex mysteries and shit.
Nice.
Trip
Well,
out. That's hilarious.
let us also not forget that like the show V, he was a star on that. You know, when we're fighting against the
Yes, he was.
aliens. And also Beastmaster haunted my nightmares from like 1983 forward with those people with the bat like wings and like would dissolve you into acid and like wrap their arms around you. Yeah, nightmare fuel for children. That's why this, for me, again, Beastmaster takes the win. So
Oh, and that like early Xena like throwing thing that he had.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
That I think they called it a kappa. I'm not sure, but
I
whatever.
don't remember, but it was cool.
It was cool. So yes, Beastmaster takes that.
Shit. Well, I didn't get a vote.
Well, okay, but you said
You said you didn't see either of them.
No, by all means, please.
So I don't get a
I want
vote?
to hear your points.
Well, no, it doesn't matter now. I was hoping I could make a tie, but
Well, all three of us are voting Beastmaster.
Yeah, I know.
Did you see any of these movies, Mr. Bevan?
Which ones?
Either of them?
With the next ones?
No, the ones we just talked about, Beastmaster or Excalibur. Did you
No,
grow
I
up
just
watching
asked-
any of these?
Told you I didn't.
Well, I was trying to fill some time. Okay, how about the next ones?
Wait,
Did you ever see
I was
Legend
trying
or
to do the
Conan the
opposite.
Destroyer?
Maybe.
Legend, starring young Tom Cruise on
God, you're
a
killing
quest when his girlfriend fucks up and like hurts a unicorn by accident because she couldn't leave well
I saw
enough
that.
alone.
I saw that.
And then Conan the Destroyer, the bad one, or the sequel, where we got rid of everything good and brought in Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah,
No, don't do that.
this one really comes down to me really like two factors. You know, the awesomeness of Tim Curry as Satan versus like, you know, Wilt Chamberlain and like Grace Jones just
I've got the action figure, and I keep it
chewing scenery there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So no, I will be voting Legend for one. It was a weird movie. It was just weird. It was like very French and artistic and weird, and I loved it. But then later in my life, there's this one friend of mine who's we'll call a hookup friend in my 20s, and that was our code when we wanted to go. We were out with some other friends, and we were like, "Hey, you want to go back and watch Legend?" And that was our code for we want to go knock boots. So Legend will always have a place in my heart. So.
Oh man, I was really hoping you were gonna be like, you want to go back to my place and Tom Cruise?
See The Color of Money? You want to go fast? Or no, Days of Thunder? I don't know. Pick a Tom Cruise. All the right moves. Yeah.
I am so tickled that Legend was your code.
Well, we both legitimately liked it. It was like that was the original before Netflix. This is like 2001, you know. So it was one of those like we were up in Alaska. So it's like before Netflix and chill, there was like we would always start watching Legend. We never finished watching.
God.
No. I laugh because our code was Pink Floyd's The Wall. So it's like,
nice.
What does that say about me?
No offense, Gibby, but I really hope there were a few not so memorable sessions that ended with, well, that certainly wasn't legendary.
But
I finished, and that's all that mattered. So moving on. So I think, Bob, what did you say? Did you see either one of these? And if you,
I saw Legend. I barely remember it. So
can we
Legend.
get you to ever watch Legend?
Well, I just said I saw it.
Okay. How about Conan the Second?
No, I haven't.
How many times does he have to see it in a life?
Many times. Rick, please lead us into the
It didn't involve
semifinals.
fucking for me, so.
Yeah, that was a Legend. All right, so moving into the next round, we're starting off with Willow, you know, which was pretty much like, you know, the Lord of the Rings, but not Lord of the Rings movie that many of us got in the 80s, against the Dark Crystal.
One
This
word.
is hard, man.
No, it's not.
Go ahead.
One word.
Mad
Mad
Mardigan?
Mardigan. Mad Mardigan.
Val Kilmer. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I see where you're going. Yeah. Willow is one of those, like, again, this was for those who have never seen the original Willow and they only saw that shitty TV show that was on Disney Plus. Willow was a George Lucas joint. You know, when he took a break from Star Wars, he decided, I'm going to make a fantasy movie. And boy, did he. Was it good? No one knows, but it was memorable. We all
I thought it was great.
It was amazing.
Did you? Oh, we saw one. Okay.
Yeah, I have an opinion finally.
Okay, I want to hear
Willow.
your opinion.
Go, Bob, go.
That's pretty much it. I love Willow. Really,
Yeah. This is an easy win for Willow in my book.
I agree. And then, Bob, did you watch the Willow TV show that was on Disney Plus? No. Okay, don't.
yeah.
Actually, I don't think you can. They pulled it all the way down. It's not even up there anymore.
Yeah,
No,
it was surprisingly like there were moments in it, but
It could have been. There were a lot of could have beens.
Yeah, it's like they sacrificed story to try to make it cool at points, and they failed in both aspects.
They went with such a CW attitude with it. It's all
when they brought in the
you know,
kids.
Yeah. So
Now the other thing is, like, the kids that spoke with an English accent took. And here's the thing: there were competing American accents and English accents within the same kingdom, within the same cast, within the same party. Those who had an English accent took their role seriously. Those who spoke with an American accent thought they were on a CW comedy, and everything was snarky and adorkable, as opposed to everybody who was speaking with an English accent who took it fucking seriously. Except for the one British guy, the one tall, I forget the character's name. He had the long dark hair, and he was the goofball of the group. So.
See, but in the movie, they had kids, but all they said was "dada dada," and then they got the fuck out of there. Awesome.
Yep.
1,000%. You know, you had pigeon shit. You had the the little tiny sprite guys, and again, Val Kilmer. You know, God bless Val Kilmer in this movie. Did any of you ever watch the documentary on? I think it's on. Oh bloody hell! Amazon Prime, just called Val.
No.
No.
Okay. If you've enjoyed Val Kilmer's work, then just find this movie, Val. It is written by Val Kilmer, but because of throat cancer, he cannot speak. His son, Jack Kilmer, who has a voice very similar to his, narrates the movie for him because it's his father's words. He sounds a stupid amount like Val Kilmer, but it's like he can't talk anymore after all these years and throat cancer. And it's this heartbreaking story of how he grew up, went to Juilliard, but he has all these home movies because he's been a camera aficionado since he was a child that literally documented his life. And like, so he was at Juilliard. He did this one show. He met this one British actress and he fell in love with her, but they were apart. Then he started a movie with her. It was Willow. They married in real life, had children, unfortunately divorced. But it's like, it is a really, like I said, heartbreaking tale of Val Kilmer's life. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, that sounds depressing as fuck. I just want to watch Willow and Top Secret.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with Bob's opinion on that one.
You got to see him now, man. It's hard. It's hard. But yes, Willow for the win for the week. Moving on.
Yay.
All right, moving on. We have Clash of the Titans versus one of the less good. You know, I'm showing my opinion there. Low budget Conan remakes. Red Sonja.
Oh, you're not wrong, sir.
We did an ATM
Red
for Red
Sonja.
Sonja, right?
What's that?
We might have.
If
I think
so,
you guys
that
did. I think that was an At the Movies at
way I
one
would've
point.
seen it.
I think that's on the list. Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Brigida Nielsen anyway. And I mean, she really only has an acting career because she was sleeping with Sylvester Stallone. So it's like, because she was Red Sonja, right?
Yeah. So how was Stallone as a lover, Bevan? Was he gentle? Was he rough? Did he, hey, or did he wear armor to bed? So
A lot of high-fiving.
I mean, that is why, like, you know, one of Bob's nicknames is Adrian.
did you have to run through the water in short shorts and then hug and jump in the air and then lay down on the surf? Because that's how it's happening in my head right now.
Yeah, all the time.
But yeah,
Hey, y'all done broke me now. I'm
Red Sonja was just flat out bad to me.
Yeah.
But it was at the time, it was like, it had all the markings of things that should be good because at the time, Brigitte Nielsen was popular. She had done like a couple of things. You had Ernie Reyes Jr. as a little kid who knew Kung Fu. You had Arnold Schwarzenegger showed up in the movie to help support this thing, but as a different character that wasn't Conan. It had all the markings and Red Sonja is a classic literary character that is jump forward in time. Unfortunately, this movie just hit with a thud. So
Yeah. Like you're exactly right. It had all the pieces to say it could have been a good movie. It just wasn't. It was like like you can tell, like even to this day, I think Arnold Schwarzenegger is embarrassed having been in that movie, and that says a lot considering some of the movies he's done.
But yeah, so and Clash of the Titans, like we said, is a classic for a reason. It stood the test of time. It still stands the test of time, and it's I can watch that right now. Whereas Red Sonja, I don't need to watch that ever again.
I will admit, I will sit down. I've seen Red Sonja more times than Clash of the Titans, but it's more in the same reason I've seen like Suicide Squad multiple times. And that it's so bad it's good, but that still doesn't make it good.
So like you're talking like the Will Smith Suicide Squad and not the James Gunn Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
Okay. I got that right. Doesn't matter. Wow. Okay. I couldn't watch that movie more than once. It was just horrible. But anyway, okay. I think we all agree Clash of the Titans.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
All right. So those speeding things along now brings us to, I think, two heavy hitters, Conan the Barbarian and Beastmaster.
For me, there's no question. I watched Conan the Barbarian a day and a half ago. I love that movie. It's one of those movies that we quote to each other in my house. I fell madly in love with Subutai, the buddy, the Conan. I love that guy, even though he never did anything else. I think he was a surfer when he got cast in the movie, and he went back to surfing after that.
Yeah, I think he was just in the movie to do because they needed somebody, and he was doing a friend a favor.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that's right. Yeah, but I loved him. I thought he was great, and I loved that they took everything so seriously. They did not camp it at all. That's what happened with the Destroyer, and that's what messed it up. If they had done Destroyer as with the seriousness that they did Barbarian, it would have been fine, and we'd have had dozens of them. But they didn't.
We eventually would have had King Conan, which we never got. Right.
Which we never got, and I was waiting for.
Now, the thing is, the reason I like obviously Conan the Barbarian is one of those things that it's lasted, again, like the test of time. We've quoted it's part of the nerd zeitgeist, but it's like there are a lot of people who still love the books. I read some of the books. They didn't do anything for me. But again, I came after that time period. I went back, read them. Okay, that's a lot of rape. That is okay, Conan. But the Conan the Barbarian was just one of those movies. It was the perfect movie at the perfect place at the perfect time with the perfect cast. It just hit. I do like the story though. When in real life, Arnold went to push the wheel of woe for the first time for the scene, and it was so well balanced that he fell down and the post behind him knocked him in the head.
It's one of those movies where the behind the scenes is nearly as interesting as the movie itself.
Right. You have any touchdowns with this, Bob?
No, not really. I don't have any strong feelings about either of these. I'll choose Conan. Finally, fine.
Final answer. I think we can agree. I think Conan the Barbarian goes on.
All right, so now we have an interesting matchup. We have Legend versus Krull. And Krull is basically, it's different in that it's really not a sword and sorcery. It's more of a sci-fi sword and sorcery. And P.S. Gibby, speaking of sci-fi sword and sorcery, fuck you for not including You're the Hunter from the Future on this. But which would have just won this outright in my mind. But
agree to disagree, sir. Moving on. But you're right. Krull was like one of those, like, again, you watch the behind the scenes things. It was supposed to be like 9 different movies, and none of them ever happened. And they filmed and they filmed and they filmed, and they just kind of edited together this monstrosity that is somehow the worst and best dumb movie I've seen since I was a child.
You know something? You take away the main weapon, the glaive, from this, and this movie is forgettable. But yeah, I'm holding up my hand.
You sacrificed his life for you, sir. He brought the fire mares.
How you just held up your hand? My camera's off, but I literally just did the same thing. That was just the best.
Oh my flang! It's impractical. I watched one of those stupid nerd YouTube video things where it's like one of those mega nerds who builds and tests like all the dork weapons from these things, and he's trying to throw it. It's like almost cutting himself because it's like it's curved in such a way that it's going to hurt you no matter what you do.
Oh yeah, it is like it's one of those weapons that I think anybody who loves like sword and sorcery things, you want one of those on your wall, but you also know to never take it down because you will hurt yourself with it because it is just so bad.
You legally can't have it in the house with anyone under the age of 14 nearby because it's going to bang the wall. You're going to kill a child.
Yeah.
So.
But I absolutely love Krull because it is such a weird mashup, and so bizarre, and again has young Liam Neeson in it.
Yep.
Yeah, I just absolutely love that movie.
Well, the other thing about Krull that always baffled me was like he went out of his way to get the thing, to find the spider lady, to find the lava thing, put his hand in the lava, pull out the Krull blade. Cool. He throws it at the monster at the end, it gets stuck, and then she gives him the power of fire, and he's just shooting fire like at the monster at the end.
Yeah.
Like, why did you even mess with a guy? You're immune to fire power, motherfucker. Yeah. So yeah, I would take Krull. I don't know. For me, I might actually go Legend. I think Legend. Nick Fury. No, Tim Curry, same person. Tim Curry as Death, young Tom. I'm actually going to go Legend over Krull. I do love Krull. It's got a spot, but Legend has multiple spots for me.
I don't actually remember Krull. I know I've watched it back in the day, but if I try to think about it, all I can remember is the cover of the video box, and I really don't remember the movie. So again, I'm with you. I got to vote for Tim Curry. I mean, Legend.
We really need to do an ATM of Krull.
Yeah,
I don't think
we haven't done
Krull.
That. Say again, Bob.
I don't think I've seen Krull, but I don't like sci-fi in my mystery, or my fantasy. So yeah, Legend.
Yeah, this one had a touch of sci-fi in it. There were some aliens things. So yeah. All right. So Legend moves on. All right.
Now it gets a little more difficult because we're moving to the semifinal round.
Semifinals. Yeah.
All right. So we have Willow against Clash of the Titans.
I have one word.
Mad Mardigan.
How did you know?
I got a sixth sense for this.
Clash of the Titans. Clash of the Titans was really cool, but it was no Willow. Willow is, for me, far more entertaining.
Yep.
I'm gonna disagree in that. Yeah, I like both of these. I really do like Willow, but Clash of the Titans in terms of 80 was like the epitome of 80s cool, and there's just so much that movie offers. It is close, don't get me wrong, but I'm gonna go with Clash.
If I went with Rick, it would be a tie. We can't go forward. So but the reason I'm going to go with Willow is because everything you said is correct. Like Clash of the Titans is it came first. It set a standard. We all built off that standard, but Willow actually follows the hero's tale. The little nothing to a something to a learn from the end. It is an adventure. It is a romp. It is a story. And from the storytellers that we are, you learn more from Willow than you do from Clash of the Titans. And that's why Willow for me will move forward into the final round.
Also, Rick was saying about the 80s, I mean, Clash of the Titans reeks of the 80s. I could watch Willow and not realize I'm watching a movie from the 80s.
I saw Willow in the theater, and I did have one uncomfortable audience moment because at the beginning of the movie, when I guess Laura Dannon's mom is like, it's like, oh, my daughter will come back and kill you, and like Queen Beth Morta is like, kill her. I let out a laugh in the theater, and literally every head turned toward me, and I was just like, well, maybe I'll just go get some popcorn.
You're like, kill the bitch. Queen Beth Morta for life. Also, you got a guy named General Kale, and he's got a skull mask, and it's like if you listen, it takes a lot of it takes a lot of balls to wear the skull mask because you just can't show up one day to work. Like, what was the first day to work? He showed up with a skull mask, and like, are we allowed to ask questions? Are we like, General, sir, bold choice. You haven't fought in a while, so he owned it.
Yeah, well, to get a skull mask, you need to kill something with a skull that's bigger than your face.
Yeah, or he bought it at a kitschy store, or he got it off the fantasy version of Etsy. Yeah. All right. The next round, or the next part of these semifinals is Conan versus Legend.
This is no contest.
Again, it's a no-brainer
Conan.
for me.
Yeah.
Conan. Did anybody else watch the Conan animated show?
No.
I did.
Yeah, I remember. I love when they try to take like bloody R-rated movies, and like
Yes.
and they tried to make kid shows out of them,
like RoboCop or
Yep.
Rambo
or Highlander.
Legend
did they
only
make a
got as
Highlander?
far. Sorry, Legend only got as far as it got because I barely remembered it, and against the other ones.
No, it got there because it is an artistic flick, and again, Tim Curry's The Devil is an icon. You look up Tim Curry, and like there are certain like Rocky Horror, Dr. Frankenfurter and The Devil are like the two things that pop up the most often. So, and we just rewatched Clue with the wife and the kids the other day. So yeah, Wadsworth. But it comes down to this: the finals, Willow versus Conan. We got a couple of minutes to burn on this, but not many. So,
I love.
do you have just one word?
No, actually, no. I love both of these movies. Willow is one of the most feminist movies that I've ever seen, because you end up at the end of this movie with 3 women, if you count Sorsha, because she is in the final battle, fighting over control of the kingdom, and there's not a man in the mix as far as what the women are fighting over. Willow just happens to be there because lucky him. But even he is fighting for the sake of a woman, a Laura Dannon. And so it's an extremely feminist movie, and for so many other reasons, but I love it for that. But I'm still going to go for Conan because that's the movie. I love that movie.
Willow trying
Arnold's
to get some
nipples
Tyrion
win.
Lannister action.
Well, I don't hate women, so Willow.
In many ways, bringing that up, it's like Conan has kind of the opposite, because it is like kind of one of those ultimate male movies.
It is male power fantasy through and through.
But
I
I'm
go ahead.
as much as I like to think of myself as as an enlightened male, if the two are on, I'm going to turn on Conan every fucking time.
Well, and Conan kind of fits. I mean, there are feminist themes in Conan too, because how does he get to the end? He doesn't survive the end without the help of his woman, who comes back from the freaking dead
As a
to
Valkyrie,
make
yeah.
sure that he
Cleaning
is
up after
saved,
guys with
right?
Yeah, so I think it's Bob's Willow, 2 for Conan. I can either tie it or King make it. We can put in this a stalemate and there will never be an answer, but
Just
the answer
give
honestly
us
is Conan.
I was going to say, give us your honest answer. Stop playing to the crowd.
Yeah.
No, the answer is Conan, because it is just, what's the riddle of steel? Willow's like, it's a pig, it's my finger. It's the fuck to hear the lamentation of the women. That is unfortunately the riddle of steel. It's,
like how many of us have sat down with our kids and explained to them, like, Crom is your god and he lives in the earth.
well, actually, no, but it's like steel is not strong, flesh is strong. Like James Earl Jones taught us
Flesh is
that.
strong,
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah, it's like James Earl Jones is just he's just kind of like terrifying, and then you have like Ben Davidson and and Sven Olaf. It's just
Without a doubt. And it also, all of Schwarzenegger's like lifting pals from the gym, like Franco Palumbo is like, he's just there. He's just some weird little scout guy. He's like, all this jacked little half barbarian staring at him when he was a child. So yeah, Conan is the movie that we, again, if we had things like, Beastmaster, and we had things like Lady Hawk, but Conan is the one that it was the Star Wars of its time. Everybody else is just trying to be it, so Willow, I love you. You are a solid number 2, but Conan moves on to become the winner of the 80s Swords and Sandals movies.
Solid number 2. So you basically just said Willow is shit. Nice.
Well, yeah, I had to do that for Bob, so yeah.
Most of these are a liquid number 2.
All right, with Conan at the top of the heap right now, we thank everybody at home for listening to us play along for this little battle royale of 80s for 80s Swords and Sandals movies. If you have any ideas of things you would like for us to battle it out, songs, movies, TV shows, books, whatever, send it to us on our Discord link. Message us in the YouTube chat channel. Just get a hold of us and tell us what it is that you would like to see us argue about. But we've got to take off. So
we need one of those Netflix fantasy shows. You can put Willow and you can put fucking Sweet Tooth in there.
I do like Sweet Tooth. So.
Oh God.
I'm talking about Sweet Tooth, the monster clown guy from Twisted Metal.
I'm talking about
no, not that shitty show. Not the kid with the antlers. Okay. Oh no, screw that kid.
Yeah.
I would have shot him. I thought you meant the clown thing from Twisted Metal. Like, now we're talking, But so if you want an urban fantasy TV show battle, we can do that as well. We won't even put Supernatural on us so we don't get like The Boys. Anyway, that's the end of our show. Reach out to us, talk to us, connect. I'm vamping now. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye, friends.
Bye.
Authors and Dragons is brought to you under a Creative Commons license, meaning you are free to share this material so long as credit is given to those who created it, which is us, the people you just heard play the game. Opening and closing themes performed by the Gore Core 4.
Authors and Dragons!